One of the most common questions I receive when I'm working with companies across North America is privately, of course, individuals who express their fear about losing their job if they screw up. And this is something that is really big right now because we're in a period of enormous change where we are dealing with changes in the workplace, changes with technology, changes in society. Everything is changing very, very quickly. And as an employee, as an individual working in an organization, it can be very hard to face this change, not only because it is a new way of doing things, but because it challenges individuals to modify their habits. And with that comes the risk of making mistakes. Making mistakes can mean that you look bad in front of your boss, and this could ultimately lead to some kind of problem with your career, in that anytime you look bad or stupid or feel you look stupid, it could lead you down that path of losing your job. And ultimately, so many of the fears in the workplace end up with this as the bottom line statement. If I screw up, I'm going to lose my job. I don't think this is a very fair way to exist. I think that people need to feel a little bit more in power of their own career and life. And the good news is there's never been a better time for that than now. We live in an era where you can take back a lot of this inequity of the power to recognize that if you were to ask yourself that question, what if I lose my job today? What if today was the day I got fired? Your answer to yourself could be, so what? I've got other things in place. And that's what I want to talk about here is you can put things in place to level this playing field so that people don't have to feel that their world is over just because this one job right now stops. So this is what I do. This is what I talk about. This is what I research and consult organizations on, and individuals, of course, which is most important here. I put out a book called The Future of Workplace Fear. And this is talking about these very topics. Where does fear come from? How does it happen? Not just simply for employees, but also managers too, who are seeing their workforce start to want to work from home. What kind of manager can I be if my team is not around me? So people can have fear at all levels. Executives who don't fully understand the nature of cybercrime, for example, who don't want to lose face at a boardroom table, may stay silent when they should be asking questions. Fear is pervasive at any level of an organization. But what I want to talk about is the fear of losing your job and how to have the antidote to that kind of fear. I have a few tips that I want to share with you on this particular topic. And the first one is to talk about your network, the people that you know. This is the old adage that it's not just who you know, it's not just what you know, it's the two together which really make you succeed. And who you know is a big part of that. Before the internet existed, before LinkedIn existed, successful people used to have a little black book or a Rolodex of business cards of their contacts, of people they could pick up the phone and talk to, and things would get done. This can still apply today. This is what LinkedIn is for. Most people who try LinkedIn don't do much with it because they think it's only there when you're looking for a job. But that's not the case at all. LinkedIn is your place where you can collect the people that are valuable to you and build a network of really strong contacts. This doesn't mean saying yes to everybody who asks to connect with you, but those people who you know and respect professionally, that you would gladly recommend if someone asked you, do you know a good lawyer or a good plumber? You can say, yes, I know this person. They have done work for me. I highly recommend them. Those are the kind of people you'd want to have as the majority of the people in your LinkedIn collection. You don't need 10,000 people. 100 people is better if they're good people. So most of the people in your LinkedIn collection should be people you know, care about, and trust. However, it's always good to add more people from outside as well, providing that you get the take the time to get to know them, to learn what they're about, and to make them professional friends of yours as well, rather than just simply saying yes to every request out of politeness. So bottom line is, if you get active on LinkedIn, you will have a collection of good people. And good people are the kinds of resources that will help provide opportunities, whether it is for a new job, a new position, a new contract. There are numerous ways people can help you, which is why I believe that your network is your greatest career safety net. Who you know is going to help you, and you can help them along the way as well. So getting active on LinkedIn means, first of all, making sure your profile is thorough and clear, including all the details you want about yourself, and if appropriate, your photograph too. Not everybody wants to have their photograph online. I understand that, of course, but if you can, and if you're wondering why you should, it's because your face is the beginning of a trust relationship. People need to see who they're dealing with in order to start establishing a trust relationship. So it's a good idea to do that if you are comfortable to have your photograph there, but at very least, have your profile up to date and complete. Get some endorsements or good recommendations from clients, friends, past bosses who want to say good things about you. Build something that people can get interested in reading about. But secondly, make sure that this collection of people that you bring in and say yes to, your personal network of people on LinkedIn, make sure you stay active with them. The best way to do this is to spend just a few minutes a day jumping onto LinkedIn and seeing who's celebrating what today. LinkedIn makes this very easy. It will give you the notifications right there on your home page. Go and see what the notifications say about people that you now know who are perhaps celebrating 5 years at a particular job, or who maybe have just posted an article. Read it, comment on it, give them some applause. Just let them know that you care about them and keep the memory of you warm in their minds and hearts. Just 5 minutes a day, just to keep up with the people in your network. That's all you need to do. So you'll see that I'm referring to a daily activity here. That's a key part of success in any business. And you could consider your career to be a business. You're running that business. Even if you're working for somebody right now as an employee, it's still your career, your business. And one of the biggest rules of success in business is to ensure that at least a small amount of each day is spent working on that business rather than spending it all in that business. So this means taking the time to maintain and work with your network of people so that you have a vibrant collection of people around you who have those opportunities to help you move ahead, or at least give you that sense of a strong safety net if you need it. Build it, feed it, maintain it like a house plant. Keep it going on a daily basis so that those people are always aware of the changes in your life and what you're doing. You may even want to write a post or just make a comment once in a while on the main LinkedIn page. This is how people get to know who you are and just are aware that you exist. So get your LinkedIn network active. That's one of the greatest ways of establishing a safety net. To answer that question, if I got fired today, what would I do? You have people to turn to. You have all kinds of references there to find your next opportunity, whether it be a career or a gig, an actual freelance type thing, which again, people tend to look down the noses on sometimes, thinking freelancing is not a secure career. But the great thing about freelancers, and I am one of them, is that you develop the ability to find work. I always like to tell people that I've been doing this for 25 years, looking for work and finding it on a regular basis. Once you can maintain your network of people, the work, no matter what kind of industry you are in, does come in. So build and feed that network both outside and inside LinkedIn to knit your safety net together. And then, of course, the next thing about this is to keep your skills marketable. And the best way to do this is using what's called microlearning. Many people think that the only place you can learn new marketable skills is to go back to school. And back to school means a major commitment of time and stepping away from whatever work you currently have. But that's not the only way anymore. You can do microlearning in again small amounts just by turning to social media once again. Twitter is a perfect example of this. A lot of people will say bad things about Twitter because it's filled with people saying bad things. That is true. But there's also a lot of really smart and good people out there talking about your industry or your next industry, where you want to go next. And these are the people you can learn from in small amounts day by day. Technologies, developments, news, people. You can find these people by, again, looking up a news story and finding a name, then searching for that name on Twitter. You can find associations, or you can look for hashtag discussions under a topic, whether it's nursing or computing or photography. There are people, good people, talking about these things. You can meet them, you can talk with them, and you can learn from them. Micro-learning, in my opinion, is far more effective than traditional schooling ever was, because there's not enough space in your short-term memory to take in all the things you were taught in a day or in a week. But with micro-learning, you can learn things just like you would learn a language, or if you play a musical instrument, how you would learn a song, a little bit at a time each day to build on the existing knowledge. So invest, again, a few minutes per day in micro-learning. Jump onto Twitter, jump onto LinkedIn's news feed, and read what people are saying, and learn what is big in your business, or learn what else is out there that you may want to take on next. I always love to ask that question of anybody of any age. What do you want to do next in your career. There's never been a better time in all of history to recognize that not only can you be career independent, but you can also change that career regularly. We don't have the stigma that our parents had in the previous generation about losing a job at a given age and being unemployable. We have that opportunity and freedom to do that. So microlearning is a super powerful component for building your skills alongside your network. And also, again, think about the fact that no matter what line of work you're in right now, there are other opportunities, totally different ones from what you're doing, maybe something you've always wanted to do. Consider the fact there are new opportunities out there. What might you want to do next? Again, I'll use photography as an example. You can make a good living as a photographer. The opportunities are there, the technology is there, everything is there to make that your new opportunity. This is all, I think, wonderfully reaffirming stuff, because it means that when you wake up and you ask yourself, what happens if I was to lose my job today? The answer becomes, okay, we move on to the next thing. And that's when you can turn to your network, to your knowledge, and to your awareness of the new opportunities that are out there. The greatest antidote to fear of any sort is knowledge, facts. If you fear something, find the facts that will balance it out and neutralize it so that you can take the emotion out of the situation and truly take charge of that situation. Facts neutralize fear. So these are the kinds of things that you can do to change that mindset. And here's my final point here, to change that mindset from someone who has been, quote unquote, given a job and should be grateful for it, to the fact that you are a provider of a service, trading your skills for compensation, leveling out this playing field so that the person that you work with, your manager, may have more power and more money or more salary than you do, but you're still providing a service to that person and to the company. You are a provider of skills. And this, it goes a long way to changing the mindset from powerlessness to power. You are a provider of skills. People need those skills. The art of success is just simply finding the people who need those skills, and they're not all inside the current building that you're currently working at. So my goal here is not to encourage people to get up and leave necessarily, but to know that you can. You can walk away from the table and you can do other things. You are not trapped in a situation that is oppressive or is making you feel uncomfortable. And that is a wonderfully empowering sensation. You have that power to move ahead. So that's what I like to talk about. And that's what I think everyone has the right to know and hear, even though it's not taught much in schools. You have that power. It's simply a network and a knowledge and an awareness that you can do something else. So if you're interested in these kinds of things, I've got a podcast series. It's called Cool Time Life. It's all about work, productivity, life balance, stress, all the things that we do as working people. And the episodes are evergreen. You can go onto the index at steveprentice.com, check out the podcast page, and read the previous chapters that I have done on these various topics. If you like it, subscribe to it, of course. If you like this YouTube presentation, you can subscribe to that as well. The little red button is down below, of course. And if you're interested in the book, Future of Workplace Fear is available anywhere that you get books, online or in person as well. The bottom line here is that you have the power to change your life the way you want to, and all we need is just a little bit more of the knowledge of how do I do these things. So if you have a question about this, you can send me your how do I questions. Just simply go again to steveprentice.com, go to the contact form, and tell me what you'd like to learn about next. This is what I do for a living. I talk about these things. I help people, and I'd love to help you as well. How do I ... So enjoy the fact you have this power, you have this ability, you have a much more equitable relationship in your working environment. Enjoy that. So next time you think about, what if I lose my job? You can say, great, I'm prepared, I'm ready, I'm looking forward to the next chapter. I am looking forward to seeing you again. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again very soon.